Bom dia, Português. Tudo bem. So we're just back here revisiting a house that I made a video on a few days ago. This is the village house in Travanca de Lagos that's on the market for 23,500 euros. And I just wanted to make some clarifications about this property and have a little bit of a chat with you guys about it. So anyway, let's check it out. Let's check it out.
It's good, it's good, it's good, it's good. Wicked. It's Portuguese good.
Alright, before we get started, I noticed that many of you who enjoy my content still haven't gotten around to subscribing. It costs you nothing to subscribe, but it really helps me out. So go ahead and smash that subscribe button. Go on, smash it. And if you don't...
That's ignorant.
Alright, let's get into it. So, Central Portugal village, a villa in need of complete renovation, 23,500 euro. Now, this video got quite a lot of views. Well, for a small channel like mine, I think it got around 2,000 views and quite a lot of comments. And I just want to touch quickly on a few of the comments and then have a quick sort of little bit more in-depth look at the property from the outside, and I'll explain why I think it's a pretty good deal. Right, but the first thing I want to say is, look, I'm not an estate agent and I'm not acting on behalf of the estate agent's era. I don't have an estate agent license or anything like that. I just went and viewed the place and I told her that I would take a video and she was happy about that. As I say, if you want to know details about things like the exact boundary, the septic tank and all this kind of other thing, you know, you're going to have to get a survey done anyway. With respect to the estate agent who I viewed the house with, she seemed very nice, but listen, you know, you do your due diligence. So you're going to get a surveyor to look at those things, okay? Right, anyway, the other thing people said was, oh, it's going to cost you a lot of money to refurbish. Not just this, but the other two I showed you. And that's true, but what you have to remember is, I am not showing you these houses. The reason I'm showing you these houses is, you know, if you're a developer, that's fine. You can decide whether this is worth doing. But in my opinion, if you spent 100,000 euros on this house doing it up, you'll lose 40 because there's a ceiling price in a village like Travanca de Lagos. You know, you would be over-capitalizing. So these houses are for people who are looking to live that kind of simpler life, okay? So, for example, I have a villa in the village that I bought that supposedly needed total renovation, and you know, we've done it up to a standard that probably wouldn't work for a lot of people. A lot of people wouldn't accept mismatched tiles on the floor, reclaimed wood, you know, that kind of thing. But for us, we wanted to own the house and not be in debt, and we didn't have a lot of cash, and so that's why we did it. So these videos and these houses that I'm talking about aren't for developers, and they aren't for the kind of people who want mortgages, and they aren't for the kind of people who've got 100,000, 200,000 euros to drop on a house. That's not who these are for. These are for people who've got a little bit of cash, would just like to own their place outright and then just putter about a bit, doing it up slowly. So let me start first with the parking here with this one. So a few people said they couldn't see how a car could park, so I'm going to show you. Right. So this is the boundary of the thing, okay? This granite, and this pole would be one boundary, and it would go over to the it kind of follows this, the boundary follows this granite line. So all of this land comes to the house. So look, to me, it would be just a couple of hours work to get these stones out, flatten that out a bit. You know, if you wanted to lay concrete down, you could, it's up to you. But very easily, as far as I'm concerned, day one I could have off-street parking here, just with a bit of, get my back into it with a sledgehammer, a pick and a shovel, and I'd have off-street parking for 2, maybe even 3 cars right there. So that's part one. Right. Now the other thing, if I show you from the front, and you can look, I'll put a link to the previous video about this one, and then maybe it'll be able to make more sense to you guys. So as I said to you, the house proper starts here. Now what you're looking at behind this screen door is that annex where I said it was probably animals, okay? You know, I don't know that for sure, but maybe. Now if you look here, you can see where the actual house starts, okay, which is that light there. So what I would consider doing, you'd probably have to get planning permission and everything like that, but what I would consider doing is up there you can see the top part is just Tigelos. I would consider ripping all that off, ripping the roof off this annex, completely exposing it, and making from here to here. You can see the line. I hope you can see that line. So I would leave that wall in there. So when I open this door, I would be inside my garden, okay? So that would be my garden. So it would be, I brought my tape measure, guys, because I know many of you are asking about measurements. So what would we have, guys? What would we have? So that would give you a garden of about 4 meters. 4 meters by, oh, and just so you know, this door would be in the cellar where the wine press was. So if you remember when we were in that annex, we've come down the stairs here into this annex, and then we walked through a door into this little cellar where the wine cellar is. Keep that just as a cellar, tidy it up. And then here you've got some storage, haven't you? Your farming tools or whatever can be in there. Okay. So what have we got there? We've got about another 7 meters roughly. So about a 28 meter square garden we've got where that annex is. As I say, just a matter of removing the roof, removing all the rubbish. So guys, another one I wanted to throw into the mix, okay? So as far as the agent knew, the property line is the bottom of this granite outcrop. But normally when you see these kind of markers up here, that denotes the boundary line. So you'd want to check. But for example, if this was the boundary line of the property, it may look daunting, but this granite is really not that difficult to knock out, you know. You can do it yourself with a tool that costs, you know, 300 or 400 euros. Or you could hire someone. It'll probably take you a couple of days to do it. So you could get rid of that rock. But be that as it may, even if you didn't want to, you could build up terraces to build garden on it. Do you know what I mean? You could build up like wood. Okay, so it's all doable. And then why I'm saying this is you could have your car parking area here, then your little bit of garden here, and your garden over there in the annex, or keep the annex. Or, for example, you could put all of this to garden. This would be another idea. Keep all of this as garden. Obviously not a massive garden, but 23,500 euros, guys. You know what I mean? You put some pots in here as well. You got a nice little balcony. And what you would do then is maybe change into a small garage. I mean, the only thing I think might be difficult is the turning circle, but then again, I think you could go pretty wide. So you can make that opening pretty big, but you'd have to measure that up and see for yourself whether that would be doable. But then you could have a car parking space here in this annex. And I don't think it'll be a problem because lots of other people have got garage doors, so you wouldn't be the first one to do it. But yeah, I think you could do it. Probably if you just put a little garage door, you wouldn't have enough of a turning space, unless it was a very small car. But I think if you went really wide and had like a double garage door, you could turn in there, not a problem. So lots of different options, guys. And what it does is it takes, when you've had a look at a lot of properties and done a few renovations, you start being able to visualize this stuff. But that's what it takes. So I mean, I even think like here you could have a car parking spot there. You've still got quite a lot of room left for garden. It just depends what your priorities are, how many people you want to be able to park here. Yeah, lots of different things to consider. So there you go, just a matter of thinking creatively, guys. Now this is the front door into what would be the downstairs apartment. Now I showed you guys before there was like 2 small rooms on this side and 2 small rooms on this side, right? So what are we talking about? Right, so we're talking about 3 meters by about 4 meters till we get to the back separate section of this, what would be this kind of apartment. So my idea would be I would knock those 2 rooms over there into one. That would be my bedroom. I'd knock these 2 into one. That would be my living room. Tidy up the balcony. Got my cars parked here. Right. This is the front door to the downstairs apartment. A little bit of storage under the stairs there. And and then in here you've got this, hopefully that'll show on the camera, that room there. So that door over there, I don't know if you can see that. That door over there is down to that part where I said I'd make one big bedroom and a living room. And then in here I would have small dining room, kitchen, the bathroom's over there. There is a window over there, but the plants are all overgrown. But that's not a problem, get rid of that. And you can see actually you have got a little bit of garden out here as well. This granite, because it comes to this line, it's easier to chisel through this granite than you think as well, believe me. You get a jackhammer, doesn't even have to be a massive one, and you'll get through that. A few days work, you'll be able to get through that. So I don't think there's a lot of work downstairs to get that done properly. Get a cheap kitchen from Leroy Merlin for about 800 euros. And then you've got a completely separate apartment upstairs. And obviously this part up here is similar kind of size. And what you would do is you would just leave that until you're ready. There's no urgency. But as I say, for me, this is what you got to put in perspective. 23,500, of course you can make an offer. It's 2 completely separate apartments with off-street parking for at least 2 cars. So you could allocate 1 to each apartment, couldn't you? I think you could make a small garden just by doing away with the annex. Get the roof off it, knock the back wall of it down, knock a bit of this granite out so that you can walk behind the house, so you can access the garden in the back of the house nice and easily. And so that's what I'm trying to explain to you guys. So who is this house for? In my mind, it's not really for people who are trying to make money. I don't think that coming to central Portugal to develop village houses is going to be a way to make money or to make a lot of money. Might be able to make some money, but I think this is for people who want to live a more simple life. You've got the 2 houses, so you might be able to touch one up nicely, and it's good for your friends and family when they come over. Eventually you could choose to live upstairs if you wanted to. As I say, you're 10 minutes away from Oliveira Hospital with all the supermarkets, everything like that. 5 minutes from the cafe, 5 minutes from the countryside. If you want to buy a little bit of land nearby to do a little bit of farming on, I've already spoken to you guys about that. So I hope that kind of clarifies some things, you know. Yeah, if you got any more questions, feel free to hit me up in the comments. But yeah, things like you know, planning laws, zoning permissions, and how where the sewerage is connected to it, all that kind of thing, you want to be ringing ERA and I'll put her contents in this video description again. And yeah, anyway, that's all I've got to say. Just a bit of clarification, a little bit more information. I'm just trying to knuckle down who these videos are for, you know. Look, in the future, a few people have said to me, hey, I think someone in the comments said, well, you know, most of my friends are looking for houses that are a lot more expensive than that. And that's fine. This isn't a video for them. And but I might, as I said to you guys, if you can help me build that information with Vera. So if any of you do feel like you're going to offer on this house or have a viewing, and you'd mention to them that they saw it on the channel, that would probably help my case with them to let me regularly look at houses on their books, and then I could have a look at you know, other more expensive houses or farms or even business properties for you guys. So that's where I'm at with it, and that's it. Just a bit of a random stream of consciousness there. I hope I didn't bore you guys too much with that. Just wanted to really clarify. Also, just needed an excuse to quickly hop on the bike because the sun has come out for a second. I don't need much of an excuse, guys. Anyway, as always, if you like this type of content and you're new around here, please consider subscribing. It really helps me out. And if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. Muito obrigado, amigos. Ciao.